Hey everybody, Neil here from Post to Post. Thank you for joining me today for this video. I appreciate it. Today we're going to look at some IIHF, some international hockey logo redesigns by a designer named JP. He sent these in and there are, so let me tell you, there are 16 logos here. I've not seen these before. So we're going to react to this together and I'll kind of dissect the logos a little bit, tell you if I like them, tell you if I don't, what I like about them, what I don't, yada, yada, yada. And then at the end of the video, you can leave your comment down below and let me know what you think, or let JP know. I'm sure he's going to read the comments and stuff. But I will address the elephant in the room a little bit. I know I'm wearing a Canadian hat and a Finnish jersey. I am Canadian, but my favorite country is Finland. So a little bit of a conflict, but we're talking both countries here. So let's see what JP has for us. Let's bring up the first one. It's AUT. That's the file name. I'm assuming that's Austria. So let's bring it up. It is Austria, and Austria is such an interesting country with so much history and architecture, and it's just such a beautiful country. And I really like their imagery and graphics that they use or have used in the past and stuff. And their flag is pretty cool as well. You can see some of that in the logo here that JP did. I actually really like this. I think it feels very European. North American hockey logos don't even necessarily say hockey on them. European logos, almost all of them say hockey on them. In some cities, in certain leagues, it's just like the city name and then hockey club. Like that's it. It's very, very traditional, almost like football, soccer kind of. So this is right in line with what I would expect from Austria. The only like little bit of criticism I might have is that you have arc text on the top, but completely horizontal text of hockey on the bottom. I might also just for balance, follow that white line at the bottom, that kind of arc, that same angle for the word hockey. That's really it. But I really like the imagery in the back there. That would be a really, really cool shoulder patch. I don't know if JP's intention was to have this on the front of a jersey, shoulder patch, maybe, or just logos in general. I'm not sure, but I'm always thinking about jerseys. So I think this would be a great shoulder patch. Canada. Oh, okay. This is very interesting, very classic, honestly. Super interesting font too. I kind of like it. It's a little bit funky. Sometimes you have a little bit of character in text that also represents something else. To me, when I look at this text, it almost reminds me of mountains a little bit. Like if you look at the top of the end, that bridge that kind of comes down, typically in the letter N, you'd see that halfway down. But it's at the top here, and it reminds me of like a mountain range or a mountain ridge or something at the top of the mountains. So I kind of like that playful typeface here with this for Canada specifically. So yeah, I like that. And you can see that in the word hockey down below as well. It's the same kind of typeface, except for it's lowercase, not uppercase. Overall, it's very retro, very, very retro. If I'm going to get critical, really nitpicky, the spacing in between the top of Canada and the bottom where the red, so the bottom of the maple leaf and then the top of the red bar, you don't have the same amount of spacing there. So in real world, that would be, you'd have to have the exact same pixel count between the two. You can't really offset it one way. So, just a little thing there to fix. Okay, next is Switzerland. Ooh, I like the simplicity of it, but I will say that what's throwing me off is not the angle of the text at the top, but the, I guess, percentage on left and percentage on right. It's not weighted properly. I'm actually not familiar with, like, if there's a logo like this that currently exists, I am not familiar if it is or isn't offset. But to me, when I look at this, the offset is one of the first things that I noticed. It's way left weighted versus right weighted. So I would just kind of fix that and have it completely symmetrical. Otherwise, it's super Switzerland, and I might just squeeze the text in from the bottom and in from the top so it's not so close to the red edge. But yeah, very Switzerland for sure. Okay, continue. Czechia or Czech Republic. I like this because it has flag representation. So the text is in white, but the actual background of their flag, like if you look on the left-hand side, that's really the flag being pulled out and the bottom of the red as well. But where the white text is, that's white in their flag. So I really like that relationship here with this logo with the flag. I feel like maybe it comes out a little bit too far and it's got that little hook. Maybe that's supposed to represent a hockey stick or something. I'm not exactly sure. But I do like the logo overall. I think maybe we could just maybe shrink it down a little bit. Okay, moving on, we've got Denmark. Okay, so very simple logo here. Really not a lot to say. But I do like that little flag addition. I love flags, so we put the flag in there at the bottom of the K is pretty cool. The kerning in the letters might be a little bit aggressive. There's quite a bit of spacing there, kerning, so I would probably decrease the kerning a little bit. Moving on, Deutschland, Germany. So this is like the font. Here's when I was talking earlier about typeface or font. Sometimes the actual font can relay a message or relay a character or relay some kind of feeling, and that's exactly what's happening here. The almost old school kind of Gothic style font is very, very German or very like European, Central European, and I love it. And it just looks like something that you'd find straight out of Germany, like that specific font. So in this situation, you don't need any circles, you don't need any graphics, you don't need shields, anything like that. The font really actually does a lot of work here. Again, I think the kerning is a little bit too aggressive. I would probably decrease the kerning and bring it in a little bit, but you've got flag representation with the colors. You've got applicable font typeface, which is great. So, yep, good. Next, there you go. So let's dissect this one a little bit. I think we're running into a situation where there's maybe a little bit too much arc angle. I would kind of bow it out a little bit less like this. So you could move the text down a little bit because the spacing is a little bit awkward. Like the right of the M is pretty close to the shield, but the left of the U, there's quite a bit of space there. So we have some kind of spacing issues, I think, overall. Additionally, I think the bottom of the S is a little bit closer than the bottom of the I, and I actually don't think the I has a white stroke like the other letters, so maybe a little bit of a mistake there. That might be kind of playing with my perception a little bit, but it's very, it's very Finnish, very simple, got the colors, the shield and stuff, so I like it. France, that's pretty cool. It feels super retro, like mid-70s or something. I would probably have the same opinion that I did with the Canadian one, where the font is a little bit too high. I would just bring it down so it has the same kind of spacing from the bottom to the top of the other graphics. I also see a bit of a rooster representation in the C there too, which is pretty cool. But I like this one quite a bit actually. Next, Hungary. Well, very simple, kind of like the Czechia one. We've got, I assume, two hockey stick kind of things. I don't think that would be like, I'm trying to think of, I'm always thinking of jerseys, like I said earlier. I don't think that would look great in the front of a jersey. I think you'd need something a little bit more. And it's almost too horizontal and too flat for a shoulder patch. But like on the front of a hat, that would look really good. I think on a t-shirt, that would look really good as well. Next, Kazakhstan. That is the uncommon version of how it's spelled. I believe they did change the spelling in this format of language or character base or whatever you want to call it. So technically this is actually right or current, but it is awkward to see this and not, like, I missed the K and stuff. So it's very good. Kazakhstan has an amazing flag, amazing colors, one of the best flags and color combinations out there. So I'm pretty happy with this. However, I do feel like I'm missing the negative space in the A, the Q, and the A. I feel like it almost needs that a little bit, whether you want to make that negative space the white or make it yellow to kind of represent the circular aspect in the flag as well, which you see there in the Q. Yeah, who knows? But this is pretty cool. I do like it. Next, Latvia. Pretty simple. Latvia really has a pretty basic foundation of jerseys and logos and stuff. I don't think I've, in my memory, have seen a Latvian jersey that was just like crazy or a spectacular logo. They play it pretty safe, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think this is very, predictable for Latvia. So good job here. This is cool. Norway. I really like this quite a bit. I love the aspect of the flag, again, in the letter. This is so Norway. This one's probably perfect. I don't think I would change anything about that at all. Well done, JP, on this one. Next, Slovakia. This is also a good one. It's a bit like the Czechia one, but you've got, again, that flag representation from I'm pointing to my hat because I used to have a Slovakia hat. I can't remember where it is now, but on the front of my hat was that shield. And so that is very familiar to me. I love the fact that JP included it in there, and you've got the hockey stick as well. Only small criticism here is that the two shades of blue do not match. I would suspect that the stick would either match the flag color or vice versa. There wouldn't be two shades of blue here. Okay, next, Slovenia. Well, well, well. That's kind of an interesting graphic to the left, and yeah, I'm actually not super familiar with that. I need to look at their flag, actually. I'm not super familiar with that little graphic I'm seeing. Oh, it is totally in there, too. I knew there was something on the Slovenia flag. I just didn't know what it was. I guess I never really paid attention to it, but it's actually a pretty cool little graphic of mountains and stuff. So, yeah, pretty cool. I like it. The green is conflicting, but I know that Slovenia has used some green stuff in the past, so I'm okay with that. Okay, Sweden. Now, this was pretty expected with the crowns. You almost knew the crowns were going to be in there if you're familiar with anything Sweden related. Maybe slightly disappointed there's no flag aspect in here, but you can kind of see that, I guess, maybe with the text and then the hockey stick in the background. So, but yeah, this is pretty cool. I can see this on the front of a jersey or shoulder. Okay, USA. Yeah, super retro and very well designed. You've got good negative space there with the A using a star. You've got the stripes turning into hockey sticks. I think this is a very simple design, very good. You can see it on a hat, a jersey, maybe not the front shoulder patch more so, a t-shirt for sure. So this is a very well designed logo. Oh, that was the last one. My favorite, it's going to be Norway. Like I pretty much know immediately. I just feel like it's simple. It's very, very Norwegian. Like it just speaks Norway. I think the France one was pretty good as well. And the first one, the Austria one, yeah, that one was pretty good. But I'm going to give it to Norway. I think that one was the best. So JP, thank you so much for sending those in. That was pretty cool just to kind of look at something a little bit different on the channel. Usually it's something NHL related or it's specifically jerseys on Fridays. But I love looking at designs and I love looking at the community's work. So if this interests you and you are a designer and you want to submit details on how to do that are down below in the description. I would love a full set of logos from a league, jerseys from a league, anything concept related from the NHL. Would absolutely love that. So looking forward to seeing your work in the future, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you've got a couple of minutes down below in the comment section, let me know what your favorite logo was from this set. I'm sure JP is interested as well. So have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.